Good day everyone. For the homemade tagliatelle pasta, I'll be making a Bolognese sauce. And here are the ingredients. So let's get cooking.
Minced beef, Parmesan cheese, some smoked pancetta, freshly chopped parsley, olive oil, beef stock, some chopped dried rosemary, bay leaves, chopped garlic, salt and pepper, and along with the vegetables. And the vegetables we're going to use are minced celery, minced carrots, minced onions, and we're going to use 2 cans of tinned tomato and some tomato paste. Get the pan really nice and hot. Add in a glug of olive oil, and once the oil heats up, add in the smoked pancetta. Once it's smoking hot, add the pancetta and get it really nice and brown. Once the pancetta is cooked, we can add in the vegetables along with the garlic into the mixture. The sliced vegetables are onions, carrot and celery. So just add everything into the mixture. And add in the garlic. And the whole thing has to cook down, so it's easier to adjust salt towards the end. And let the vegetables cook on high heat for 5 minutes till everything is cooked, and then we add in the beef and get everything really brown. After the vegetables have turned soft, in this case it's around 5 minutes, we will be adding the beef into this mixture. And make sure the pan is still on a really high heat, because we want to brown the beef, not boil it. So we're just going to add the beef into the mixture. Mix the vegetables and the beef well, and make sure that you brown the beef. Once it's properly mixed, add in the freshly chopped parsley to the mixture. Mix it well. Make sure the heat is on high and the pan is really hot, so we brown the meat. The beef is nicely dried up, and we'll wait for a few more minutes. We'll get a small browning on the meat, and then we'll be adding the tomato paste. Now we're going to add close to 100 grams of tomato paste. Make sure we cook the tomato paste for like 5 minutes, so the raw taste of the tomato disappears. as the raw smell disappears, we are going to add a cup or a cup and a half of red wine. We're going to add a Bordeaux. It's not a very expensive bottle of wine, it's just a very normal bottle of wine. So we're going to add a cup or a cup and a half. And we will be adding the bay leaves and the crushed rosemary into the mixture. The crushed rosemary. And one bay leaf. Mix everything well and let it cook. Let the wine evaporate and let the whole mixture reduce it down to half of what it is right now, and then we will be adding the canned tomatoes. Now just add the two canned tomatoes to the mixture. There will be some leftover in the cans, so I'll be just adding some water into it and just mixing it. Mix everything and cook it for 2 minutes, and then we add our beef stock and simmer everything for an hour or an hour and a half. And during that hour I'll be making pasta from scratch and we'll show it to you in another video. We'll be adding the pasta in the end into this mixture. So just look at the color, it's so inviting. And once we cook this for 2 minutes, we'll add the beef stock. At this stage, I'd like to add a good helping of pepper, black pepper, freshly ground. Once the canned tomatoes have cooked down a bit, we add in the beef stock. And now reduce the heat to medium. Stir it well, cover it and let it simmer for an hour. At least an hour. But make sure you have the heat on medium. Cover the mixture and let it simmer for an hour. Once the hour is up, lift the lid, give it a good stir, and again let it sit on medium heat for 10 minutes with an open lid so that it reduces down quite a bit. Now we'll be adding grated cheese. So this is Parmigiano Reggiano. I have grated close to 100 grams and we are going to add in the cheese. And remember that we have not added salt in between because we have salt in the stock which we have added, and it gets salt from the cheese as well. So once the cheese is melted completely, we will check for seasoning and adjust the salt as needed. So that's it. Our sauce is done. I have checked for seasoning and I have cracked in a bit of black pepper and a dash of salt into it. And everything is done. Add the pasta to the sauce and serve it with the dash of grated cheese on top.
This is the pasta I made from scratch earlier, and I'll be cooking this pasta in a pot of boiling water, which is heavily salted.
So this pasta, as mentioned earlier, has been made from scratch, and we'll be cooking it till it's al dente. And al dente means it's a bit chewy, it's not overcooked or it's not mushy. And you want to have a small bite into the pasta when you have having a bowl of pasta. So always make sure the bowl of pasta is al dente and not overcooked. And once the pasta is done, we'll be transferring the pasta from here directly into the sauce pot rather than draining the pasta, because we need the extra starchy water from the pasta to make the sauce a bit more watery. And the sauce is now on a low heat and it's heating up. And now it's time for us to check the pasta. Always have a bite of the pasta and see how you want it. Now when I checked it, it looks as if it's done. So what we're going to do is we're going to transfer the pasta from here directly into the sauce. And I'll be using tongs, and then to get the final pieces I'll be using a strainer. And do not strain the pasta, just add it directly. Once you've added all the pasta, start stirring it together so that the pasta is completely covered with the sauce. Once you have the right portion of the pasta, make sure you grate in some Parmesan cheese. So there you go. You have a bowl of fresh homemade pasta along with some homemade pasta sauce. Enjoy.